Cordozar Broadus Jr., born October 20, 1971, known professionally as Snoop Dogg, previously Snoop Doggy Dogg and briefly Snoop Lion, Note 1, is an American rapper, media personality, and actor. Personal life. Snoop Dogg in August 2009. Snoop married his high school girlfriend, Shantae Taylor, on June 14, 1997. On May 21, 2004, he filed for divorce from Taylor, citing irreconcilable differences. However, the couple renewed vows on January 12, 2008 that they have 3 children together, sons Cord, born August 21, 1994, and Cordell, born February 21, 1997, who quit football to pursue a career as a filmmaker, and daughter Corey, born June 22, 1999. Snoop also has a son from a relationship with Lori Holman, Julian Corey Broadus. Born 1998. He is the first cousin of NJPW professional wrestler Mercedes Moné, as well as the fellow 213 member Nathaniel Hale, known professionally as Nate Dogg, who died of congestive heart failure on March 15, 2011. He has also claimed he is a cousin of R&B singers Brandy and Ray J, though Brandy stated she is unsure if they are actually related. 158. 159. In 2015, Snoop became a grandfather, as his eldest son, Cord Broadus, had a son with his girlfriend, Jessica Kaiser. 160. Cord had another son, who died on September 25, 2019, 10 days after birth. On October 24, 2021, Snoop's mother, Beverly Tate, died. Snoop claimed in a 2006 interview with Rolling Stone magazine that unlike other hip-hop artists who had superficially adopted the pimp persona, he was an actual professional pimp in 2003 and 2004, saying, "That shit was my natural calling, and once I got involved with it, it became fun. It was like shootin' layups for me. I was making 'em every time." On February 16, 2024, Snoop's brother, Bing Worthington, died at the age of 44. Early life. Cordozar Broadus Jr. was born on October 20, 1971, in Long Beach, California, to Vernell Varnado and Beverly Tate Varnado, who was a Vietnam War veteran, singer, and mail carrier, left the family only 3 months after his birth, and thus he was named after his stepfather, Cordozar Broadus Sr., 1948 to 1984. His father remained largely absent from his life. As a boy, his mother nicknamed him Snoopy due to his love and likeness of the cartoon character from Peanuts. He was the second of his mother's 3 sons. His mother and stepfather divorced in 1975. When Broadus was very young, he began singing and playing piano at the Golgotha Trinity Baptist Church. In 6th grade, he began rapping. As a child, Broadus sold candy, delivered newspapers, and bagged groceries to help his family make ends meet. He was described as having been a dedicated student and enthusiastic churchgoer, active in choir and football. Broadus said in 1993 that he began engaging in unlawful activities and joining gangs in his teenage years, despite his mother's preventative efforts. Broadus would frequently rap in school. As he recalled, "When I rapped in the hallways at school, I would draw such a big crowd that the principal would think there was a fight going on. It made me begin to realize that I had a gift. I could tell that my raps interested people, and that made me interested in myself." As a teenager, Broadus frequently ran into trouble with the law. He was a member of the Rollin' 20s Crips gang in the East Side neighborhood of Long Beach. In 1993, however, he denied the frequent police and media reports by saying that he never joined a gang. Shortly after graduating from high school at Long Beach Polytechnic High School in 1989, he was arrested for possession of cocaine, and for the next 3 years, was frequently incarcerated, including at Wayside Jail, with his 2 cousins, Nate Dogg and Lil One Half Dead, and friend Warren G. He recorded homemade tapes. The 4 called their group 213 after the area code of their native Long Beach at that time. One of Snoop's early solo freestyles over Hold On by En Vogue was on a mixtape that fortuitously wound up with Dr. Dre. The influential producer was so impressed by the sample that he called Snoop to audition in 1991 for his label Death Row Records, then known as Future Shock. Former NWA affiliate, American rapper Tracy Lynn Curry, better known as the DOC, taught him to structure his lyrics and separate the themes into verses, hooks, and choruses. Music career. 1991 to 1998, Death Row, Doggy Style, and The Dogfather. When he began recording, Broadus took the stage name Snoop Doggy Dogg. He was introduced to Dr. Dre by Warren G., who gave him Broadus's cassette tape. Broadus then signed with Dre's label, Future Shock Records, which later became known as Death Row Records. Dr. Dre began working with him, first on the theme song of the 1992 film Deep Cover and then on Dr. Dre's debut solo album, The Chronic, along with the other members of his former starting group, the Dogg Pound. This intense exposure played a considerable part in making Snoop Dogg's debut album, Doggy Style, the critical and commercial success that it was. Snoop Dogg in 1998. Fueling the ascendance of West Coast G-Funk hip-hop, the singles Who Am I, What's My Name, and Gin and Juice reached the top 10 most-played songs in the United States, and the album stayed on the Billboard charts for several months. Gangsta rap became the center of arguments about censorship and labeling, with Snoop Dogg often used as an example of violent and misogynistic musicians. Unlike much of the harder-edged gangsta rap artists, Snoop Dogg seemed to show his softer side, according to music journalist Chuck Phillips. Rolling Stone music critic Ture asserted that Snoop had a relatively soft vocal delivery compared to other rappers. Snoop's vocal style is part of what distinguishes him. Where many rappers scream, figuratively and literally, he speaks softly. Doggy Style, much like The Chronic, featured a host of rappers signed to or affiliated with the Death Row label, including Daz Dillinger, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, and others. In 1993, Broadus was charged with first-degree murder for the shooting of a member of a rival gang who was actually killed by Snoop's bodyguard. Broadus was acquitted on February 20, 1996. According to Broadus, after he was acquitted he did not want to continue living the gangsta lifestyle because he felt that continuing his behavior would result in his assassination or a prison term. A short film about Snoop Dogg's murder trial, Murder Was the Case, was released in 1994, along with an accompanying soundtrack. On July 6, 1995, Doggy Style Records Incorporated, a record label founded by Snoop Dogg, was registered with the California Secretary of State as business entity number C1923139. After his acquittal, Snoop and the mother of his son, along with their kennel of 20 pit bulls, moved into a 5,000 square foot, 460 square meters, home in the hills of Claremont, California, and by August 1996 Doggy Style Records, a subsidiary of Death Row Records, signed the Gap band Charlie Wilson as one of its first artists. He collaborated with fellow rap artist Tupac Shakur on the 1996 single Two of America's Most Wanted. This was one of Shakur's last songs released while alive. He was shot on September 7, 1996, in Las Vegas, dying 6 days later. By the time Snoop Dogg's second album, The Dogfather, was released in November 1996, the price of appearing to be a gang member living the gangsta life had become very evident. Among the many notable hip-hop industry deaths and convictions were the death of Snoop Dogg's friend and label mate Tupac Shakur and the racketeering indictment of Death Row co-founder Suge Knight. Dr. Dre had left Death Row earlier in 1996 because of a contract dispute, so Snoop Dogg co-produced The Dogfather with Daz Dillinger and DJ Pooh. This album featured a distinct change of style from Doggy Style, and the lead-off single, Snoop's Upside Your Head, featured a collaboration with Charlie Wilson. The album sold reasonably well but was not as successful as its predecessor. The Dogfather had a somewhat softer approach to the G-Funk style. Snoop was scheduled to release an EP titled Documentary on July 8, 1997, but the album had been cancelled. Despite this, a music video was released for its projected first single, Midnight Love. Snoop realized that he was subject to an ironclad time-based contract, i.e., that Death Row practically owned anything he produced for a number of years, and refused to produce any more tracks for Suge Knight other than the insulting Fuck Death Row until his contract expired. In an interview with Neil Strauss in 1998, Snoop Dogg said that though he had been given lavish gifts by his former label, they had withheld his royalty payments. Stephen Thomas Erlewine of AllMusic said that after The Dogfather, Snoop Dogg began moving away from his gangsta roots toward a calmer lyrical aesthetic. For instance, Snoop participated in the 1997 Lollapalooza concert tour, which featured mainly alternative rock music. Troy J. Augusto of Variety noticed that Snoop's set at Lollapalooza attracted much dancing and, strangely, even a small mosh pit in the audience. 1998 to 2006, signing with No Limit and continued success. Snoop Dogg performing in Hawaii for U.S. military members in 2005. Snoop signed with Master P's No Limit Records, distributed by Priority/EMI Records, in March 1998 and debuted on the label with "The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told" later that year. He said at the time that Snoop Dogg is universal, so he can fit into any camp, especially a camp that knows how to hand make shit, winky face, and No Limit hand makes material. They make material fit into the artist and they know what type of shit Snoop Dogg is supposed to be on. That's why it's so tight. His other albums on No Limit were No Limit Top Dog in 1999, selling over 1,510,000 copies, and The Last Meal in 2000, selling over 2,100,000. In 1999, his autobiography, The Dogfather, was published. In 2002, he released the album Paid the Cost to Be Da Bo Dollar Dollar on Priority/Capital/EMI, selling over 1,310,000 copies. The album featured the hit singles From the Church to Da Palace and Beautiful, featuring guest vocals by Pharrell. In the same year, he featured in the remix of Welcome to Atlanta by Jermaine Dupri. By this stage in his career, Snoop Dogg had left behind his gangster image and embraced a pimp image. In June 2004, Snoop signed to Geffen Records/Star Trek Entertainment, both distributed by Interscope Records. Star Trek is headed by producer duo The Neptunes, which produced several tracks for Snoop's 2004 release RNG, Rhythm and Gangsta, the masterpiece. Drop It Like It's Hot, featuring Pharrell, the first single released from the album, was a hit and became Snoop Dogg's first single to reach #1. His third release was Signs, featuring Justin Timberlake and Charlie Wilson, which entered the UK chart at #2. This was his highest entry ever in the UK chart. The album sold 1,730,000 copies in the US alone, and most of its singles were heavily played on radio and television. Snoop Dogg joined Warren G and Nate Dogg to form the group 213 and released The Hard Way in 2004. Debuting at #4 on the Billboard 200 and #1 on the top R&B/hip hop albums, it included the single Groupie Love. Snoop Dogg appeared in the music video for Korn's Twisted Transistor along with fellow rappers Lil Jon, Exhibit, and David Banner. Snoop Dogg appeared on 2 tracks from Ice Cube's 2006 album Laugh Now, Cry Later, including Go to Church, and on several tracks on the Dogg Pound's Cali is Active the same year. His song Real Talk was leaked on the internet in the summer of 2006, and a video was later released on the internet. Real Talk was dedicated to former Crips leader Stanley Tookie Williams and a diss to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor of California. 2 other singles on which Snoop made a guest performance were Keep Bouncing by Too Short, also with will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas, and Gangsta Walk by Coolio. Snoop's 2006 album, The Blue Carpet Treatment, debuted on the Billboard 200 at #5 and sold over 850,000 copies. The album and the second single, That's That Shit featuring R. Kelly, were well received by critics. In the album, he collaborated in a video with E40 and other West Coast rappers on the single Candy, Drippin' Like Water. 2007 to 2012, Ego Trippin', Malice and Wonderland and Documentary. In July 2007, Snoop Dogg made history by becoming the first artist to release a track as a ringtone before its release as a single, It's the D.O.G. On July 7, 2007, Snoop Dogg performed at the Live Earth concert, Hamburg. Snoop Dogg has ventured into singing for Bollywood with his first ever rap for an Indian movie, Sing is King. The song title is also Sing is King. He appears in the movie as himself. The album featuring the song was released on June 8, 2008, on Junglee Music Records. He released his 9th studio album, Ego Trippin', selling 400,000 copies in the US, along with the first single, Sexual Eruption. The single peaked at #7 on the Billboard 100, featuring Snoop using autotune. The album featured production from QDT, Quick Dog Teddy. Snoop was appointed an executive position at Priority Records. His 10th studio album, Malice and Wonderland, was released on December 8, 2009. The first single from the album, Gangsta Love, featuring The Dream, peaked at #35 on the Billboard Hot 100. The album debuted at #23 on the Billboard 200, selling 61,000 copies its first week, making it his lowest charting album. His third single, I Wanna Rock, peaked at #41 on the Billboard Hot 100. The fourth single from Malice and Wonderland, titled Pronto, featuring Soulja Boy Tell 'Em, was released on iTunes on December 1, 2009. Snoop re-released the album under the name More Malice. Snoop collaborated with Katy Perry on California Girls, the first single from her album Teenage Dream, which was released on May 7, 2010. Snoop can also be heard on the track Flashing by Dr. Dre and on Current $YS song Sea Change. He was also featured on a new single from Australian singer Jessica Mauboy, titled Get 'Em Girls, released September 2010. Snoop's latest effort was backing American recording artist EMI on her second single entitled Mr. Romeo, released October 26, 2010, as a follow-up to Magic. Snoop also collaborated with American comedy troupe The Lonely Island in their song Turtleneck and Chain, in their 2011 album Turtleneck and Chain. Snoop Dogg's 11th studio album was Documentary. The album went through several tentative titles including Doggy Style 2, The Documentary and Documentary Music 0020 before being released under the final title Documentary on March 29, 2011. Snoop was featured on Gorillaz' album Plastic Beach on the track Welcome to the World of the Plastic Beach with the Hypnotic Brass Ensemble. He also completed another track with them entitled Something Like This Night, which was later released on Documentary. He also appears on the 2011 Tech 9 album All SIXS and Sevens on the track Pornographic, which also features E40 and Chris Calico. 2012 to 2013, Reincarnated and 7 Days of Funk. Snoop Dogg as Snoop Lion, 2013. On February 4, 2012, Snoop Dogg announced a documentary, Reincarnated, alongside his new upcoming studio album entitled Reincarnated. The film was released March 21, 2013, with the album slated for release April 23, 2013. On July 20, 2012, Snoop Dogg released a new reggae single, La La La, under the pseudonym Snoop Lion. 3 other songs were also announced to be on the album: No Guns Allowed, Ashtrays and Heartbreaks, and Harder Times. On July 31, 2012, Snoop introduced a new stage name, Snoop Lion. He told reporters that he was rechristened Snoop Lion by a Rastafari priest in Jamaica in response to Frank Ocean coming out. Snoop said hip-hop was ready to accept a gay rapper. Snoop recorded an original song for the 2012 fighting game Tekken Tag Tournament 2, titled Knock 'Em Down, and makes a special appearance as a non-playable character in the Snoop Dogg stage arena. In September of the same year, Snoop released a compilation of electronic music entitled Loose Joints under the moniker DJ Snoopadelic, stating the influence of George Clinton's Funkadelic. In an interview with the Fader magazine, Snoop stated Snoop Lion, Snoop Dogg, DJ Snoopadelic, they only know one thing: make music that's timeless and bangs. In December 2012, Snoop released his second single from Reincarnated, Here Comes the King. It was also announced that Snoop worked a deal with RCA Records to release Reincarnated in early 2013. Also in December 2012, Snoop Dogg released a That's My Work, a collaboration rap mixtape with the Dog Pound. In an interview with Hip Hop Weekly on June 17, producer Symbolic 1, S1, announced that Snoop was working on his final album under his rap moniker Snoop Dogg. I've been working with Snoop, he's actually working on his last solo album as Snoop Dogg. In September 2013, Snoop released a collaboration album with his sons as the Broadus Boys titled Royal Fam. On October 28, 2013, Snoop Dogg released another mixtape entitled That's My Work 2, hosted by DJ Drama. Snoop formed a funk duo with musician Damn Funk called 7 Days of Funk and released their eponymous debut album on December 10, 2013. 2014 to 2017, Bush, Kool-Aid, and Neva left. In August 2014, a clip surfaced online featuring a sneak preview of a song Snoop had recorded for Pharrell. Snoop's Pharrell Williams-produced album Bush was released on May 12, 2015, with the first single Peaches and Cream having been released on March 10, 2015. On June 13, 2016, Snoop Dogg announced the release date for his album Kool-Aid, which was released on July 1, 2016. He headlined a unity party for donors at Philly's Electric Factory on July 28, 2016, the last day of the Democratic National Convention, released March 1, 2017, through his own Doggy Style Records. Promise you this precedes the release of his upcoming Kool-Aid film based on the album of the same name. Snoop Dogg released his 15th studio album, Neva Left, in May 2017. 2018 to 2021, Bible of Love, I Wanna Thank Me, and From the Streets to the Sweets. He released a gospel album titled Bible of Love on March 16, 2018. Snoop performing with Jamiroquai at Coachella. In April 2018, Snoop performed at Coachella with acid jazz and funk band Jamiroquai. Snoop was featured on Gorillaz' album The Now Now, released in June 2018, on a track called Hollywood with Jamie Principle. In November 2018, Snoop Dogg announced plans for his Puff Puff Pass tour, which features Bone Thugs and Harmony, Too Short, Warren G, Corrupt, and others. The tour ran from November 24 to January 5. Snoop Dogg was featured on Lil Dicky's April 2019 single Earth, where he played the role of a marijuana plant in both the song's lyrics and animated video. On July 3, 2019, Snoop Dogg released the title track from his upcoming 17th studio album, I Wanna Thank Me. The album was released on August 16, 2019. Snoop Dogg collaborated with Vietnamese singer Sun Tanyam TP and Hey Treo Choan, Give It To Me, which was officially released on July 1, 2019. As of October 3, 2019, the music video has amassed over 158 million views on YouTube. Early in 2020, it was announced that Snoop had rescheduled his tour in support of his I Wanna Thank You album and documentary of the same name. The tour has been rescheduled to commence in February 2021. In May 2020, Snoop released the song Que Maldition, a collaboration with Banda Sinaloense de Sergio Lizarraga, peaking at number 1 on the Billboard Bubbling Under Hot 100. On April 20, 2021, Snoop Dogg released his 18th studio album From the Streets to the Suites. It was announced on April 7, 2021, via Instagram. The album received generally positive reviews from critics. During an interview on the September 27 airing of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Snoop Dogg announced Algorithm. The album was released on November 19, 2021. 2022 Super Bowl 56 halftime show performance, BODR and Missionary. Snoop Dogg performed at the halftime show of Super Bowl 56 alongside Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. In January 2022, Snoop Dogg announced that he would release his 19th studio album, BODR, on the same day as his Super Bowl halftime show performance. However, the album's release was pushed forward 2 days and was released on February 11, 2022. On February 10, 2022, Snoop Dogg announced that he has acquired Death Row Records and intends to revive the label. On June 24, 2022, Snoop Dogg collaborated with Eminem on the track From the D to the LBC, with a live-action/animated music video released the same day. Later that year, Snoop Dogg has revealed he has a new album coming out called Missionary, and it's entirely produced by Dr. Dre. The album will be released via Death Row/Aftermath. Other ventures. Snoop has appeared in numerous films and television episodes throughout his career. His starring roles in film includes The Wash, with Dr. Dre, and the horror film Bones. He also co-starred with rapper Wiz Khalifa in the 2012 movie Mac and Devin Go to High School, which a sequel has been announced. He has had various supporting and cameo roles in film, including Half-Baked, Training Day, Starsky and Hutch, and Bruno. Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania Ziv at Orlando's Citrus Bowl with Ashley Massaro and tag team partner Maria, March 30, 2008. He has starred in 3 television programs: sketch comedy show Doggy Fizzle Televizzle, variety show Dog After Dark, and reality show Snoop Dogg's Fatherhood, also starring Snoop's wife and children. He has starred in episodes of King of the Hill, Las Vegas, and Monk, 1 episode of Robot Chicken, as well as 3 episodes of One Life to Live. He has participated in 3 Comedy Central roasts for Flavor Flav, Donald Trump, and Justin Bieber. Cameo television appearances include episodes of The L Word, Weeds, Entourage, I Get That a Lot, Monk, and The Price is Right. He has also appeared in an episode of the YouTube video series Epic Rap Battles of History as Moses. In 2000, Snoop, as Michael J. Corleone, directed Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, a pornographic film produced by Hustler. The film, combining hip-hop with X-rated material, was a huge success and won top-selling release of the year at the 2002 AVN Awards. Snoop then directed Snoop Dogg's Hustlers, Diary of a Pimp in 2002, using the nickname Snoop Scorsese. Snoop founded his own production company, Snoopadelic Films, in 2005. Their debut film was Bossin' Up, a film inspired by Snoop Dogg's album RNG, starring Lil Jon and Trina. In December 2013, Snoop performed at the annual Kennedy Center Honors Concert, honoring jazz pianist Herbie Hancock. After his performance, Snoop credited Hancock with inventing hip-hop. On several occasions, Snoop has appeared at the Players Ball in support of Bishop Don Magic 1 and 1 appeared on Snoop's videos for Boss Playa, ADIDAC, Pimp, Remix, Nothin' Without Me and A Pimp's Christmas Song. Snoop Dogg speaks on stage during Day 1 of TechCrunch Disrupt SF 2015. In January 2016, a Change.org petition was created in the hopes of having Snoop narrate the entire Planet Earth series. The petition comes after Snoop narrated a number of nature clips on Jimmy Kimmel Live. In April 2016, Snoop performed Straight Outta Compton and Fuck the Police at Coachella during a reunion of NWA members Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and MC Ren. He hosted a basketball fundraiser, Hoops for Water for Flint, Michigan. The event occurred on May 21, 2016, and was run by former Toronto Raptors star and Flint native Morris Peterson. In the fall of 2016, VH1 premiered a new show featuring Snoop and his friend Martha Stewart called Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner Party, featuring games, recipes, and musical guests. Snoop and Stewart also later starred together in a Super Bowl commercial for T-Mobile during Super Bowl 51 in February 2017. With Stewart, Snoop also created a fried chicken recipe, with barbecue-flavored potato chips as an added ingredient in the batter. In 2017, Snoop hosted a revival of The Joker's Wild, which spent its first 2 seasons on TBS before moving to TNT in January 2019. In October 2018, Snoop released a cookbook, From Crook to Cook, Platinum Recipes from the Boss Dog's Kitchen, containing 50 recipes inspired by Snoop's family staples and favorite comfort foods, with instructions to make everything from fried bologna sandwiches and baked mac and cheese to soft tacos and orange chicken. The book is co-authored with Ryan Ford and has a foreword by Martha Stewart. The cookbook had a wave of over 200,000 sales in 2020 and entered the Amazon bestseller list in 2022 after Snoop Dogg's Super Bowl and Puppy Bowl appearances. In early 2020, Snoop launched his debut wine release under the name Snoop Cali Red in a partnership with the Australian wine brand 19 Crimes. The red wine blend features Snoop's face on the label. Snoop provided commentary for Mike Tyson vs. Roy Jones Jr., who some pundits described as having won the night through his colorful commentary and reactions. At one point, Snoop described Tyson and Jones as like 2 of my uncles fighting at the barbecue. He also began singing a hymn, Take My Hand, Precious Lord, during the undercard fight between Jake Paul and Nate Robinson, after Robinson was knocked down. In June 2021, Snoop officially joined Def Jam Recordings as its new executive creative and strategic consultant, a role allowing him to strategically work across the label's executive team and artist roster. His immediate focus was A&R and creative development, reporting to Universal Music Group Chairman and CEO Sir Lucian Grange as well as Def Jam Interim Chairman and CEO Jeffrey Harleston. On November 12, 2021, Snoop Dogg announced the signing of Benny the Butcher on Joe Rogan's podcast. In February 2022, it was announced that Snoop had fully acquired Death Row Records from its previous owners, the MNRK Music Group, formerly E1 Music. The label was also revived when Snoop Dogg released his 20th album BODR. On April 14, 2022, Snoop was added to Call of Duty, Vanguard and Call of Duty, Warzone as an operator as part of the Tracer Pack, Snoop Dogg Operator bundle available from the in-game store. As of 2022, Snoop was a stakeholder in Fluff World, an NFT community based on 3D rabbit avatars. On May 13, 2024, it was announced that Snoop would be featured as a coach on the upcoming 26th season of The Voice. Professional wrestling. Snoop Dogg is a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. On March 30, 2008, Snoop Dogg appeared at WrestleMania Ziv as a master of ceremonies for a tag team match between Maria and Ashley Massaro as they took on Beth Phoenix and Melina. On a March 23, 2015, episode of Raw, Snoop Dogg appeared in a segment with Hulk Hogan and Curtis Axel. At WrestleMania 32, he accompanied his cousin Sasha Banks to the ring for her match, rapping over her theme music. He was also inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2016. Snoop made a special guest appearance in All Elite Wrestling on the January 6, 2021, episode of AEW Dynamite, titled New Year's Smash. During this appearance, Snoop appeared in the corner of Cody Rhodes during Rhodes' match with Matt Sydal. He later gave Serpentico a frog splash, with Rhodes then delivering a 3-count, 111-112. Snoop Dogg would join The Miz to host both nights of WrestleMania 39. During Night 1, he accompanied Rey Mysterio in a lowrider during his entrance, paying tribute to the late Eddie Guerrero. On Night 2, he introduced Shane McMahon to face The Miz in another spontaneous match. McMahon would sustain a quad injury during the match, prompting Snoop Dogg to improvise and finish the match himself, ultimately defeating Miz. Snoop Dogg's improvisational acts were lauded by wrestlers and executives, including WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H. Business ventures and investments. Snoop has been an active entrepreneur and investor. In 2009, he was appointed creative chairman of Priority Records. In May 2013, Snoop and his brand manager Nick Adler released an app, Snoopify, that lets users plaster stickers of Snoop's face, joints, or a walrus hat on photos. Adler built the app in May after discovering stickers in Japan. As of 2015, the app was generating $30,000 in weekly sales. In October 2014, Reddit raised $50 million in a funding round led by Sam Altman and including investors Mark Andreessen, Peter Thiel, Ron Conway, Snoop Dogg, and Jared Leto. In April 2015, Snoop became a minority investor in his first investment venture, Ease, a California-based cannabis delivery startup that promises to deliver medical marijuana to persons' doorsteps in less than 10 minutes. In October 2015, Snoop launched his new digital media business, Mary Jane, that focuses on news about marijuana. Mary Jane is Cannabis 2.0, he said in a promotional video for the media source. A crossroads of pot culture, business, politics, health. In November 2015, Snoop announced his new brand of cannabis products, Leafs by Snoop. The line of branded products includes marijuana flowers, concentrates, and edibles. Leafs by Snoop is truly the first mainstream cannabis brand in the world and proud to be a pioneer, he said. In such a way, Snoop became the first major celebrity to brand and market a line of legal marijuana products. On March 30, 2016, Snoop was reported to be considering purchasing the famed soul food restaurant chain Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles out of bankruptcy. In 2019, Snoop ventured into the video game business, creating his own esports league known as the Gangsta Gaming League. On March 7, 2022, it was announced that Snoop had joined FaZe Clan and would be a member of their board of directors. He would resign from the board of directors in March of the following year. On December 19, 2022, Snoop Dogg ran a poll asking if he should run Twitter. Out of 2.3 million users, 81% said yes. NFTs. On September 21, 2021, Snoop Dogg claimed on Twitter to be a prolific NFT collector known under the pseudonym Cosimo de Medici. In a Vice report following the 2021 claim, reporters Jordan Pearson and Jason Kobler provided evidence disputing the claim that Snoop Dogg and Cosimo de Medici were the same person. In a February 2023 interview with Christie's, Medici described the identity reveal as trolling and a stunt. Artistry. Snoop Dogg had been mainly described as a hip-hop, West Coast hip-hop, G-funk, and gangsta rap artist. Kool Moe Dee ranks Broadus at number 33 in his book There's a God on the Mic, and says he has an ultra-smooth, laid-back delivery and flavor-filled melodic rhyming. Peter Shapiro describes Broadus's delivery as a molasses drawl, and AllMusic notes his drawled, laconic rhyming style. Kool Moe Dee refers to Snoop's use of vocabulary, saying he keeps it real simple, he simplifies it, and he's effective in his simplicity. Broadus is known to freestyle some of his lyrics on the spot. In the book How to Rap, Lady of Rage says, when I worked with him earlier in his career, that's how created his stuff. He would freestyle. He wasn't a writer then, he was a freestyler, and the DOC states, Snoop's rap was a one-take Willie, but his shit was all freestyle. He hadn't written nothing down. He just came in and started busting. The song was the shiznit that was all freestyle. He started busting, and when we got to the break, Dre cut the machine off, did the chorus, and told Snoop to come back in. He did that throughout the record. That's when Snoop was in the zone then. Peter Shapiro says that Broadus debuted on Deep Cover with a shockingly original flow, which sounded like a Slick Rick born in South Carolina instead of South London, and adds that he showed where his style came from by covering the Slick Rick's La-Di-Da-Di, referring to Snoop's flow. Kool Moe Dee calls him one of the smoothest, funkiest flowers in the game. How to Rap also notes that Snoop is known to use syncopation in his flow to give it a laid-back quality, as well as linking with Rhythm in his compound rhymes, using alliteration, and employing a sparse flow with good use of pauses. Broadus listed his favorite rap albums for Hip Hop Connection, 10. Mixmaster Spade, The Genius Is Back, 9. Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, 8. Ice Cube, Death Certificate, 7. Tupac, Me Against the World, 6. The Notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die, 5. NWA, Straight Outta Compton, 4. Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full, 3. Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, 2. Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggy Style, 1. Dr. Dre, The Chronic, It's Da Illest Shit. Legal Issues. Criminal. 1989 to 1990, felony possession of drugs and 3-year prison sentence. Mugshot, 1993. Shortly after graduating from high school in 1989, Broadus was arrested for possession of cocaine and for the following 3 years was frequently in and out of prison. In 1990, he was convicted of felony possession of drugs and possession for sale. 1993 to 1997, traffic violation, gun possession and guilty plea. In July 1993, Broadus was stopped for a traffic violation, and a firearm was found by police during a search of his car. In February 1997, he pled guilty to possession of a handgun and was ordered to record 3 public service announcements, perform 800 hours of community service, pay a $1,000 fine and serve 3 years probation. 1993 to 1996, murder trial and acquittal. While recording Doggy Style in August 1993, Broadus was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of Philip Wilder-Merriam, a member of a rival gang, who was actually killed by Broadus' bodyguard, McKinley Lee, aka Malik. Broadus had been temporarily living in an apartment complex in the Palms neighborhood in the West Los Angeles region, in the intersection of Vinton Avenue and Woodbine Street, the location of the shooting. Both men were charged with murder, as Broadus was purportedly driving the vehicle from which the gun was fired. Johnny Cochran defended them. Both Broadus and his bodyguard were acquitted on February 20, 1996. 1998 to 2010, misdemeanor marijuana charges. Broadus has also been arrested and fined 3 times for misdemeanor possession of marijuana, in Los Angeles in 1998, Cleveland, Ohio in 2001, and Sierra Blanca, Texas, in 2010. 2006 to 2007, airport arrests and convictions. On April 26, 2006, Broadus and members of his entourage were arrested after being turned away from British Airways' first-class lounge at Heathrow Airport in London. Broadus and his party were denied entry to the lounge due to some members flying in economy class. After being escorted outside, the group got in a fight with the police and vandalized a duty-free shop. 7 police officers were injured during the incident. After a night in jail, Broadus and the other men were released on bail the next day, but he was unable to perform a scheduled concert in Johannesburg. In September 2006, Broadus was detained at John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California, by airport security after airport screeners found a collapsible police baton in his carry-on bag. Donald Etra, Broadus's lawyer, told deputies the baton was a prop for a musical sketch. Broadus was sentenced to 3 years probation and 160 hours of community service for the incident, starting in September 2007. He was arrested again in October 2006 at Bob Hope Airport in Burbank after being stopped for a traffic infraction. He was arrested for possession of a firearm and for suspicion of transporting an unspecified amount of marijuana, according to a police statement. The following month, after taping an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, he was arrested again for possession of marijuana, cocaine, and a firearm. 2 members of his entourage, according to the Burbank police statement, were admitted members of the Rollin' Twenties Crips gang and were arrested on separate charges. In April 2007, he was given a 3-year suspended sentence, 5 years probation and 800 hours of community service after pleading no contest to 2 felony charges of drug and gun possession by a convicted felon. He was also prohibited from hiring anyone with a criminal record or gang affiliation as a security guard, talent manager, or driver. 2015, Sweden arrest for illegal drug possession. Snoop Dogg, after performing for a concert in Uppsala, Sweden, on July 25, 2015, was pulled over and detained by Swedish police for allegedly using illegal drugs, violating a Swedish law enacted in 1988 which criminalized the recreational use of such substances, therefore making even being under the influence of any illegal/controlled substance a crime itself without possession. During the detention, he was taken to the police station to perform a drug test and was released shortly afterwards. The rapid test was positive for traces of narcotics, and he was potentially subject to fines depending on the results of more detailed analysis. Although final results strongly indicated drug use, the charges were ultimately dropped because it could not be proven that he was in Sweden when he consumed the substances. 259. The rapper uploaded several videos on the social networking site Instagram criticizing the police for alleged racial profiling. Police spokesman Daniel Nielsen responded to the accusations, saying, "We don't work like that in Sweden." He declared in the videos, "Niggas got me in the back of police car right now in Sweden, cuz, and pulled a nigga over for nothing, taking us to the station where I've got to go pee in a cup for nothing. I ain't done nothing. All I did was came to the country and did a concert, and now I've got to go to the police station for nothing." He announced to his Swedish fanbase that he would no longer go on tour in the country due to the incident.